I walked onto a Netflix set. What does he do every day?
Yeah, that's what I wonder too. And where is he right now?
And where did you find it?
Where is he? And where are you? Any of these reasons would be more than a good enough reason to end it. What's the reason to date him? What is one reason to date him? It's probably that he just doesn't like you that much. Sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. My name is Kelee.
And I'm Rebecca.
If you're watching us on video, you'll know that we're back in our own studio today.
Sure are.
We ventured out onto the road while we were on tour. A few things went wrong, sadly. Two of them being that the microphone stands broke. So now we have to hold our microphones for today, which is actually a struggle. And I don't really understand how podcasters that have those the standard, when you picture a microphone, you picture this microphone, like on stage at a concert.
Actually, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those ones with the cords. Some podcasters have that style microphone, and they just have to hold it up to their mouth the entire time.
Couldn't be us.
I know.
But now it is.
Maybe they have professional sound production teams.
Probably. I think we will give it 2 years. No, give it a year.
Yes. 1 year.
Check back in 2025. I'm gonna stop singing now.
You probably just feel like Britney because you're holding the microphone.
Yeah.
I guess I can move this microphone stand out of the frame because it's just killing our vibes now. Okay. Goodbye.
Boy, bye. Did you listen to Eternal Sunshine?
Yes.
It's so good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song on it?
I think I like Eternal Sunshine.
So good. Is that the one that goes, but at least I look this good? Yeah. Oh, no, that's We Can't Be Friends.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Ordinary Things.
I don't know that one. Okay, I
like that one.
I feel like I don't know the second half of the album as well.
Okay. And True Story, a cappella, so good. You gotta listen. It really just amplifies her voice, her vocal ability.
I don't even think I listened to that one.
Oh my God. Angel. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop now. Guys, guess where we're going after this?
We're going to the diner that Rebecca loves. We're going to just rush through this episode for the next 2 hours.
It wasn't even really a thought. And then you texted me and I was like, yes.
I know. I felt like it would be the perfect day for it.
We love a Thursday diner.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday diner.
Let's get into it so that we can get to the diner faster. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I do love an early dinner.
What's early to you? Because I feel like by the time we get there, it'll be average.
I don't want to say it out loud. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I eat dinner at 4:30.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. My parents, they start talking about dinner at 3:30. And then at 4, they're like, are you ready to eat sometimes? And I'm like, what?
I will say though, I'm not a nighttime eater in general.
Nice.
I'm a much more daytime eater.
That's healthier.
I love breakfast. I love lunch. If I have a huge lunch, sometimes I don't even need dinner. Where some people it's the opposite, they eat at night.
Yeah.
And when I have friends who want to have an 8:30 dinner res, I'm like, this is my worst nightmare.
No way. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, 8:30 is late for dinner in my opinion.
That's hangry territory for me.
Yeah.
And then it's annoying because it's again, I'm naturally hungry earlier, so I feel like I have to eat something at 5, and then it's okay, then I'm not even super hungry for dinner.
Right.
And if you have a reservation for a really cool place, it's what's the point now?
Yeah.
Not even hungry. It's a very New York thing, I think, too. Those later, bigger cities in general, those later dinner times. Couldn't be me.
Yeah. I don't think the 4:30 is the vibe. Maybe 6.
6:30. Honestly, 7. If it's a Friday, I'm feeling crazy. Someone says 7, I'm fine. I can hang with the big dogs.
I'm thinking about as a first time listener, if someone's clicking on this for the first time, they're probably why are they talking about dinner times?
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. We'll stop talking about this soon.
Or not.
Do you have any life updates?
I'm trying to think what happened this week. No.
I don't have any. I don't have anything to say.
Oh, wait, yeah. Yesterday I was texting Kelly. It was a very weird day yesterday.
Wait, yes, this is a huge life update.
I'm a star.
Yeah.
I was discovered. I'm just kidding. I tried. Not that hard, actually. I walked onto a Netflix set And then later, I didn't tell you this yet, but I'm in a bunch of like Philly Facebook groups. And one of them was like, guys, like watch where you park your car today because they're filming blank show in blank neighborhood. So I'm like, oh, okay. So like other people were aware of this, I guess. But no, I just happened upon it and it was really cool.
So you were walking down the street and you accidentally walked through the filming set?
Yeah, I guess they're filming in a bunch of different locations in like this one neighborhood. I was like, should I be doing this? It wasn't that, it was blocked off though. Okay. So it wasn't like they were rolling and I'm like, hey.
Right.
But I just felt like I was like, ah. And normally I wouldn't have done this, but I was like really curious. And I went up to one of the crew members and I was like, hey, like, what's this for? And she told me. And then I was like, anyone I would know in it? Because, you know, gotta get it to Hollywood, baby.
Love it.
The one guy, I forget his name, but he's in Euphoria. It's cool.
Yeah.
Go off.
He knows Zendaya.
Yeah. And then I went to the coffee shop I was walking to, and the two guys next to me were writing a script. So they were like so animated about it, and it was really cool to overhear them. And then I was like, wait, are they writing for this Netflix show, or is it just a coincidence that there's like script writers here?
Yeah.
I feel like no. It's such a niche job.
Yeah, and there's like not, well, actually I don't know if there is, but I feel like there's not a ton of production. Like if you were in New York or LA, that would make sense. But outside of those places, like where are people just writing full scripts in coffee shops? Unless they were like nobodies. Like we could go to a coffee shop and write a script. Doesn't mean it's going to get picked up.
Right. But then they started talking about a table read. So I do think it was for the show, because I'm like, they wouldn't have said that if they were just like out here trying to get discovered.
True.
So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to insert myself, but it's hard. I don't like, how do you do that? Like, hey, do you need an actor?
Yeah. I mean, you could have.
I've never acted before.
You just like slide them at the USB with your self-tape on it. And they're like, who is this? What is this? And you're like, you just watch that. It'll help you.
We just discovered the next Jennifer Lawrence. Whoa.
Slay. What if they came up to you and they were like, hey, we're really in a pinch. We are two extremely successful Hollywood screenwriters. We just got off strike and we need someone to star in the newest HBO or Max, they rebranded, series alongside Zendaya and Tom
Holland. There it is.
What would you have said?
Like literally yes. Who would say no?
True. I don't know. You could be too like humble. You could be like,
oh
please, no. I couldn't take the role from who's a major actor. I don't even know.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Emma
Stone.
Yeah, they're like, it's gonna be Jennifer, Emma, or you.
Me, baby. I have no agent. I have no anything, but yes.
Well, congratulations on your booking.
It was a cool afternoon.
Yeah.
Star power was in the air.
Yeah.
Actually, this has happened before. They filmed The Gilded Age, which is on Max.
Okay.
I think last year this time. I didn't walk onto the set, but I was aware of this happening and I thought about it.
I was at the post office in the suburbs of Philadelphia, actually. A guy who had a very, very interesting look. I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, I'm going to describe him because he might be famous, so whatever. He had black hair and he had like a beard, but the beard was very short and it had like designs into it, like waves, and like it looked like fiery, I guess.
Seneca from the Hunger Games?
Seneca?
Is that his name?
Cinna?
No.
Cinna is her costume designer.
Yeah, the guy, the evil one.
Wait, yeah. He kind of looked like that, but like a little more like he should be on the Food Network almost. I don't know how to describe this.
I love that.
But he walks into the post office, puts a box down, and the two people working there were like, oh, hi, Steve. I think his name might have even been Steve. And he said to them, hey, guys, like we start filming on Friday, so I'll send you some cool photos. And they were like, oh, okay, see ya. He walked out. My sister was waiting in the car, and she said she overheard him talking to a woman in the parking lot, being like, oh, yeah, we're going to be filming all over the burbs of Philly for a show on HBO. And she couldn't get all the details, but apparently it comes out next year, and apparently it's a new show. So it's not like it has a season already out. I wonder if it's related.
Well, this one was for Netflix, so.
Oh, okay.
But Pennsylvania is just the place to be.
Dude, I seriously think that so many shows and movies are set in Philadelphia specifically, and also just Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, why did they? But it's cool.
Well, you would also think, especially in Philly, that there would be so many rules against it.
Why?
Because it's such a historical town, and they're so like precious, I feel like, especially with Old City. So it surprises me that they're so willy-nilly with all these production sets just like up in here. I actually walked onto another set a couple years ago.
What? How are you just like walking onto sets of movies? This is crazy.
That was the Adam Sandler basketball movie.
Oh, Hustle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a picture, but it's not important. But we like waved to him because it was one of the scenes that he like was driving his car, and it was like down the street that I was on. So many people were outside on the sidewalk just watching.
That's so cool.
And it's kind of cool to get a glimpse of these things because that scene took like half an hour, and it was literally he had to drive the same car back and forth so they could get the shot. In the movie, if it even made the cut, it was like probably 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And they were just driving, and he was so nice. So he like kept waving. He was asking people about like Philly things.
That's so cool.
And I think he lived here for kind of a while he was filming. So he was like integrated with the Philly people. But
yeah,
it was cool to see Adam Sandler just like chilling right there.
That's so cool.
I'll keep walking onto sets. I will stay nimble.
Yeah. Literally make a self-tape and put it on a flash drive and start handing it out along with your headshot as well. I'm
very much in my era right now where I think everything's a sign. So I'm like, is this a sign?
Yes.
Like, do I need to go to Hollywood?
No, you need to stay right here, baby. Yeah. This is the new Hollywood. The East Coast Hollywood.
Apparently.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a sign that a movie is going to be made about us soon, probably.
About Stop the Internet?
Yes.
And it's going to be called Stop the Internet, the movie.
Wow.
Remember when every like Disney Channel show
was called
they just tacked the movie onto everything?
Yes, I do. Wait, it's actually crazy. I meant to say this like a few minutes ago, but it is insane how much production goes into the shortest clips, and then when you're watching it in a movie you think absolutely nothing of it, but like that one scene costs $100,000.
Yeah.
People do not think about that stuff. Like,
I know.
They make it look easy. Like, so much goes into it. It's so wild to think about that.
Yeah, that makes me think, like, going back to the Adam Sandler thing, they closed down like 7 surrounding blocks.
Wow.
You could not get anywhere. And it's like for this one tiny scene in this one tiny block, and
imagine
you have to close down
costs.
like a mile.
That probably costs so much money.
Everyone had to move their car. Like, I'm like, are you good?
Sometimes I do feel like, did you have to do all this?
Yeah.
Like, does it really take all of this?
Like, why does this street over here impact a scene that's being filmed over here?
I wonder if it's because of like something that we don't even think about. Like the truck that is holding the cameras needs to be able to pull around really easy, and it needs somewhere to park. I also thought about noise. Oh my gosh, yes, that's such a good
They're trying
point.
to minimize like the traffic noise.
Have you ever watched the bloopers of Gossip Girl?
Yes.
When they're just standing on the street in Manhattan and they have to like, but Chuck, and then it's like, brr, brr, and they're just like, and then they get a break and they're like, but Chuck, brr. Every second.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, sorry, the audio monitor. So sorry.
No, that was gold.
But that's probably so real.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point, actually. And it was like late at night. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh my God, we need to write a movie and produce it. And
wait, song first.
Song first. Okay, the song is actually coming along. So all of you haters that contacted me and said you will never make it in the music industry, you're wrong.
You would not believe what producers are knocking on our door right now.
And currently the song is in auction. Is that what it's called? Basically, people are bidding on it, and we're going to decide if it's going to go to Dua Lipa, Miley Cyrus, and there's a few others that you might have heard of.
Speaking that
starting with T, ending with Swift.
1 week.
Just kidding. Yes. Wait, so when this episode comes out, Taylor's new album comes out tomorrow.
There hasn't really been a peep.
No.
We don't know what it sounds like at all.
I actually have on TikTok, I've seen a few videos that claim to be like leaks. And I kind of just like scroll past them when I notice that it's a leak, because I'm like, wait, I don't want to hear this. But I accidentally like stayed on one. Oh my God. Wait, sorry, I just had to pause because there's construction going on in the building. And it was exactly like that thing in Gossip Girl that I just talked about, where I had to stop because there's banging going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a celebrity. Anyway, what was I just talking about? Oh yeah.
Oh, Taylor.
I accidentally stayed on this video too long because I didn't know what it was. So I heard Taylor and Post Malone. I already forgot what it sounds like, so it's not like it's going to be ruined for me.
Yeah. I also heard someone said an insider, show yourself, claimed it sounds like Red and Reputation mashed together.
What?
If that's the case, I will be unwell. Those are my two favorites of hers. So
wait, so it's going to be like rock almost.
Check on your girl. Yeah.
Wow.
But the aesthetic it reminds me more of Folklore.
Oh, I totally thought it was going to be like the triplet to Folklore Evermore.
But if it's like those two, none of us are safe, you guys.
I might do a solo release party because I have a wedding that day. So I'm not going to be able to hang out with friends and listen to it because I need to be in the zone for the wedding.
You have a wedding on the Friday?
But I might listen to it in the morning.
Okay.
And it'll like pump me up for the day. Should I do that?
Yeah.
And put my reactions, but I'm alone. Whatever.
It's okay.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll push myself out of my comfort zone.
Yes, I'm sure there will be another release of hers this year even.
Like album?
Yeah, I feel like Rep, right? TV.
Oh my God, maybe.
Is coming.
That will end me, but also give me life at the same time.
Same.
Wow. Rep TV. Oh, crazy.
Crazy.
Okay, should we get into our topic?
Sure. It's a good one today, boys.
It is. Today we are talking about, well, I guess it's not a topic, it's a question. Is this a good reason to break up with someone? Which I kind of love talking about this because I don't know, there's just so many layers to this, but I kind of think it's always justified. We will see. I did see a quote that I liked that I think I agree with, which is there's no such thing as not good enough of a reason to reject someone. You're allowed to reject someone for literally any reason and you have no obligation to question them.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that because I do think that there are a lot of like petty reasons why people break up with other people, especially in the very beginning. But then in the same breath, people are very quick to be like, we'll never settle. But like, if you don't like this thing that could be seen as petty, isn't that kind of the same as settling? If you were to like just get over it or like give someone a chance, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a fine line between like, don't be petty and break up with someone for a dumb reason. And also like, don't settle because there's so many people on the earth that you should find the one that's actually meant for you.
Yeah, but the one that's meant for you, it doesn't mean there won't be petty things they do that annoy you.
That's true.
So it's also like, don't wait for the perfect person because that doesn't exist. But
right.
What does settling, like, what does that mean for you?
Yeah. Are you being petty or is this a non-negotiable to you?
Yes.
And that could be different to everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's jump in. Scenario number 1. Is it wrong that I no longer want to date people who engage in a specific hobby? Okay, I already know what the hobby is, but I'm not going to tell you until the end.
Okay.
Because I kind of want to know what you think based on just, this general idea, and then also exactly what this thing is.
Okay.
I've dated multiple people who had the same particular hobby, and every single time, those people end up all having the same character flaws or issues within the relationship and their own lives. Additionally, the hobby presents things that tend to conflict with my values and morals, and then this becomes a source of conflict within the relationship. It's to the point where I want to cross off anyone who's really into this hobby just to avoid repeating history. However, I also feel like that's pretty extreme of me and discriminatory. Am I being too extreme or is this reasonable? I feel bad canceling people out over something they're interested in.
Do you want me to guess the hobby?
I feel like first, say your take based on just that. Like it could be a sport, it could be a job, it could be like it could be sewing, it could be running, like regardless of what it is, like do you think that that's a good reason to like categorize people?
I mean, when you said running, listen, I just think some hobbies really are someone's entire life.
That's a good point.
And take up like every Saturday, every Sunday, every after work, before work. And like, if it was sewing, like I would say no, because what the heck?
Yeah. My first thought is like, yeah, it's bad to categorize people because just because everyone in the past who's done this doesn't mean that everyone in the world who does this is like that. Sorry, I don't even think I just said a full sentence.
Yeah.
I did. I don't, whatever. In a way too, it's like if it's a group activity and the culture in this activity tends to be a certain way, then maybe you can categorize people and it is more fair to do that. Whereas like sewing is kind of like a one-on-one, like it's just you.
Yes.
You don't have to be surrounded in the sewing culture. You can kind of make it your own. Whereas if you're ingrained in like recreational sports, like there's no way to avoid that culture.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about hiking is a good example, because when I was on a dating app, I would see a lot of profiles where I felt like their whole personality was hiking. And I'm like, you might be like the nicest guy of all time, but like, you're maybe not for me.
Okay, I used to say that I used to be really into surfing and I would be like, oh yeah, I want to date someone. I'm like not even good at surfing, but just the whole culture actually.
Yeah.
I love. So I used to be like, oh, I don't want to date someone who doesn't surf. And then I kind of graduated to say snowboarding or skiing. And people would be like, oh, but don't discriminate, like blah, blah, blah. I kind of feel like those are valid, at least for me, because I'm going to use snowboarding or skiing. Like if it was running, I think that in my opinion, in my life, I can be like, yeah, you can go run alone. I could run alone. We don't have to be on the same level. We don't both have to be into it.
Yeah.
Our life doesn't revolve around it. I mean, I guess maybe some people's does, but mine doesn't. So whether you run or not, sure, whatever. But skiing and snowboarding, like I want to plan my life around it, because in the winter, I want to go on ski trips. Like I want to budget for a ski pass. Like I want to not make plans and then go and spend like a week or two in this ski town. And so if someone that I'm dating or married to doesn't ski or snowboard, that's going to be really hard. And our lives are going to not be like completely compatible.
You think?
I think so, because what if I married someone that was a diehard surfer and so we lived on the East Coast in the summer? We were snowbirds maybe. We could go to Florida or Puerto Rico for the winter, or we could go to Colorado for the winter. They would choose Puerto Rico, I might choose Colorado, something like that. Or what if they're really into like, I don't know, it doesn't matter, anything else, and every weekend of the winter I want to go snowboarding?
Yeah.
Are they going to be mad at me? Am I just not going to see them for 5 months?
Okay.
That's kind of how I see it. And then I also like, I think there's hobbies that you could want to do with your partner, and then there's hobbies and activities that you are fine with doing alone.
Yeah.
So that would just be something that ideally I would want to do that with a partner, because I think it's more of like a lifestyle choice rather than a hobby that's just like a hobby.
But I guess you both would have to be like die hard then for that hobby. Like it's not just something you do sometimes, which is why I'm like there are levels to these things.
Yeah.
'Cause you could like love, like there are some people that, like love running and it's not their whole life and they're not super in like the culture of it. And same with surfing and skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I guess to your point too, like if you're both die hard at these things to the point where it changes where you live, then that's adding a new level.
Or not even where you live, but like the vacations, the trips that you choose to book.
But what if like the person doesn't do it, but they find something else to do in that area when you are on the slopes?
Yeah.
Or do you want them to do it with you?
I mean, ideally they would do it with me, but I think if they were perfect in every way and the only thing like wrong with them was that they didn't ski or snowboard, but they told me, oh yeah, I can have fun in the lodge while you're on the slopes, I might be like, okay, that's fair. But I don't know. That just might be an activity that I would want to do with a partner. Because like it could be dangerous to go alone. It's just, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't like totally rule someone out if they were perfect in every way. But it would definitely be a check on the pros if they had that on their resume.
What if they were like willing to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like willing to, because I'm not good. Like I am still very like beginner. So I'd be fine with that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't rule someone out, but
okay.
I do find myself like having that as a thing that I want. And I'm sure like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure there's some hobby that I might be like, okay, I'm not into that.
Right. So what was this girl's hobby?
Okay, this one was video games.
Oh, see, that is interesting because, I don't know. That's hard.
It's hard. I think that with video games, like, I think a lot of people get judged a little too hard, a lot of men.
Yeah.
Because it can be so easy to sit around and be like, he just plays video games with his friends. Yeah. I go on TikTok. Like, I have a puzzle book that I do. I just downloaded a coloring app onto my phone.
But I guess with video games, for some people, it just takes over their whole life.
Yeah.
But see, this is also, you're right. It's like a judging a judging thing because it's like, well, it's not any different if surfing takes over your whole life, but surfing's like cool.
No, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
No, that's such a good point. In past experience, I did date someone who loved surfing and they prioritized surfing over literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the reasons why I was done with it. And I was into it for a long time.
Yeah.
But it just got to the point where it's like, if you're doing this activity and I'm sitting here alone watching you, we are not hanging out. Like, we're not spending quality time together.
Right.
It would be like if he was sitting there playing video games and I was on the couch next to him. That's not really quality time if you're like in the headset with your friends and in this game and I'm sitting here alone, like reading or on my phone or something.
Yeah.
So it kind of like doesn't even matter what the activity is. If you choose to prioritize it over everything else at all times, that's the actual problem.
Right.
And not sometimes. Like, I think people are allowed to do whatever they want sometimes, but it just can't be in lieu of the quality time that we should be spending together.
Yeah, and I think with video games, maybe the issue is it's easier to be addicted to it versus something like surfing. Like,
you could do it at any time.
Yeah.
All night.
And it doesn't require like physical exertion.
Mm-hmm.
So at least with other things, you're getting exercise and you're getting snatched.
That's true. That's true.
So I could see how video games is like more of a problem.
Yeah. I also can see how the culture, like she's saying that every person that she's dated that's been into it has this like characteristic. I do think that there is a lot of negativity because I've just heard from so many people, including my boyfriend, people just talk shit.
Oh.
And there's so much like negativity. Like people say like really just bad words to each other.
It's a culture thing.
It is.
Choose your culture wisely.
But I do think that some people can engage in it from time to time and they're able to take a step back from it.
Sure. Some people don't have a line.
But that can be true with every hobby because I've met surfers who are so annoying. And I haven't met that many snowboarders because I feel like even though you do it in a group, it's more of like a solidarity thing. Like you don't really talk to people, you just have your headphones in. But I don't know. People can be annoying in every hobby, but it doesn't mean that everyone in that hobby is annoying. Even if 5 of them were. Even if all the ones that you've met were, still doesn't mean that everyone that engages in it is like that.
That's a valid point. That was a cool discussion.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So what's the question? Is this a good reason to not date someone?
I think that's up to you and how obsessive the other person is.
Yes. Ask them in the beginning, like, is this your number one passion? Or do you just like to play sometimes, a few hours every few days? Mm-hmm. And then make your decision from there, because I could see how it would be a turnoff if you just dated someone and this was your number one problem. And then the next person you meet is like, I love video games and nothing else. You might be like, well, I can't deal with that. Yeah. Because it's so like, it's such a sore spot for you.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person.
It's hard to, it depends on the age. Like if someone is so into a certain culture, they're just not going to change at a certain point, I don't think.
That's true too.
You know?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, me too.
I think you shouldn't rule someone out completely because they do this. Mm-hmm. That's where your judgment comes in. Mm-hmm. Before we get into the next story, I wanted to talk about a product that I love. Magic Mind is a mental performance shot, and it's an addition to your daily routine that gets you focused, mentally clear, motivated, and productive while reducing stress. Plus, over 100% of your daily vitamin C and D per bottle. I have been drinking Magic Mind almost every single day. Every time I am working from home and I'm sitting at my computer all day, I'm drinking Magic Mind in the morning. The more that you drink it, the more it works for you because you get prolonged benefits. It is full of tons of natural ingredients that work together to help your brain work better. All of the ingredients are third-party tested and sourced from wonderful suppliers. I drink it along with my coffee in the morning, and just the two of them together just get me in the zone. I am definitely more productive. I feel the ingredients kick in. It's like when you drink coffee in the morning and you like feel it click in. I feel that with Magic Mind, and I am able to stay focused and get so much more done. Magic Mind has time-released caffeine with 12 active ingredients to help support your body's energy engine, so you will not feel the crash that you feel after drinking other types of caffeine. In addition to helping you be productive when you drink it, Magic Mind also donates 5 cents per bottle to mental health charities throughout the U.S. that help homeless communities. and they are 100% carbon neutral, which is an amazing mission. If you're interested in trying Magic Mind, you can use our code STOPTHEINTERNET20 for 20% off a one-time purchase or up to 48% off a subscription. So go to magicmind.com/stoptheinternet and use the code STOPTHEINTERNET20 to try Magic Mind. I have the subscription. I love drinking Magic Mind every day. It works for me, and I would love for our listeners to try it and let us know if you like it. So once again, magicmind.com/stoptheinternet and use the code STOPTHEINTERNET20 and let us know how it works for you. Is it okay to break up with someone if they are friends with bad people? Example 1, I have been out a couple of times with a guy. He is nice as far as I know. I've never heard him say a bad word about anyone. However, something is really bugging me about him. We work in the same building, but not together, and there is a woman whom we both worked alongside with. She is a bully. He has said to me a couple times that it was crazy to work with her and that there was a new drama every day. So I think he has seen her bullying side, but he is friends with her. He goes out of his way to visit her and spends half an hour talking to her for no other reason than to catch up. To me, this shows bad character on his part to be friendly with a bully who has caused a lot of people unnecessary stress and upset. Is this a good reason to stop seeing him though?
So it's one friend he has that's questionable?
Yeah, it's more like a coworker.
I feel like that's not a reason to break up. I think when you first said the question, I think it's like, are their core group of friends all assholes? Then maybe that's something to think about, because that's a reflection to a certain extent of like who they are too. And I think sometimes people act differently with friends, and like you just got to be mindful of that. But I think if it's one-off coworkers, like, I don't know. I don't think it's like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, and like you never know what their relationship is, because like he might have said things to her to try to put her in her place. Like he could have been saying to her like, all right, that was a lot. But like maybe he is still able to see her good qualities, and that's why he's friends with her. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if it's one person, it's maybe not the biggest deal. Right. Especially because with friendships, the longer that they last, and this isn't necessarily a good thing, but people just tend to keep friends around. Yeah. Like the longer you've been friends with someone, it's like, oh, well, we've been friends forever, so I can't just not be friends with them anymore. Right. And then if that friend just keeps getting like worse and worse, and like they're just an asshole and they never grow out of it, I don't know. See, then it's like, should we be Xing those people out of our lives? Or is it actually a better friend move to be there for them and try to like encourage them to not be an asshole? Like, I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation. Yes. With everything. Yeah. I don't think that this specific situation is a red flag though. Me either. We can all recognize when our friends like do something wrong and be like, oh yeah, it's crazy working with them. They're crazy. But that doesn't mean that you hate them or that they're a bad person. And also, like, maybe this is problematic, but I feel like most people have at least one questionable friend. Who's mine? You. You. Bitch. Or like from an outside perspective, like you'll look at one of your close friends, their friends. Yeah. It's easy to be like, oh, like. Yeah. But it's like we all have that. Yeah. And maybe it's not to an extreme extent, but like to them, it makes sense. Yeah. Because of like history or like whatever the situation may be. So I think it's not always like a deal breaker. Yeah. You gotta like think about the context sometimes, or like there's a part of life maybe you weren't a part of, and to them it's like that's why they hold on to that person. I don't know. I think it's more of an issue, like I said, when it's like a group of friends. Yeah. That's a problem, where like, you know, someone's not being nice to you, the SO. I agree with that. I think if I were just starting to date someone and I was meeting their friends and they were all assholes or mean to me or just annoying or rude, I think I would find that a red flag, because I really value friendships and like relationships with other people. So it would be a very hard decision if like this person seemed perfect and they were great and all of their friends sucked. Yeah. Like, I would be like, I don't like this. Yeah. It would be hard to leave them just because they're friends, but it would be hard to be in a life, like have a life with them. I was just gonna say, then you get to a point though where it's like, wait, this is life. Like these are people that you're gonna be hanging out with all the time. Something to think about. Ugh, that would suck. And you just hate their friends, because then I feel like it creates tension in your relationship. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, let's hang out with my friends this weekend. And you're like, I don't want to. You know, it's valid to not want to. But then if they're hanging out with your friends all the time,
Right.
and you just hate their friends, like that's a really hard way to live your life. Like you just never hang out with them and he goes and hangs out with them alone. And then I don't know, that's weird.
And then, it gets to a point where I feel like you're maybe in your like 30s, 40s, etc. And it's like weird.
Yeah. And then his friends are probably like, what? She doesn't like us.
Right.
That puts him in a weird situation too.
Oh, God. Icky.
That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. Stay safe out there, y'all.
Yeah. I think this guy seems safe though. This situation, I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
Is someone not being romantic enough a good reason to break up with them? I have been dating a man. This is a 28-year-old female and a 29-year-old man who doesn't really have a romantic bone in his body for the past 6 months. I've told him several times that words are my love language and I have anxious attachment, so I need reassurance more than most. I am used to a long-term relationship wherein I was called beautiful every day and provided with a ton of affectionate words. With this guy, I need to ask for it. That said, he does show he cares in other ways, primarily through physical touch and quality time. Though again, I definitely feel I need more from him. We have talked about this several times, but nothing changes. He says he can't force being romantic and that it's draining for him. Is this something I should just suck up, or should I go back into the awful dating pool and see if I can find someone who can meet this need a bit better? He also hasn't said I love you yet, which is really weird for me 6 months in. I don't really want to say it because I feel like he will say it back to appease me.
Okay, I maybe have like an unpopular opinion on this.
Okay.
I think I'm on the guy side.
Wow, okay.
Sometimes I feel like we're so in this culture of dating where it's like attachment style, love language. Can we all just like chill out?
Wow, hot take. Okay.
I don't know. I think it's because I listened to a podcast this morning and they're like a little older and they can sometimes also have like harsh advice with this stuff and be like, I feel like they would say something like this. So maybe I'm just like being influenced. I understand the importance of learning your partner's love language and trying to show up for them in different ways. But it's also like, is this a reason to break up with someone? And like she said, get back into the dating pool and think that like this is where it almost gets into territory of like you're trying to find this perfect person that like doesn't exist, in my opinion.
Okay.
I just think it's something like to keep in mind as you're dating. Try to not get caught up in all these little like buzzy phrases.
I think that it's like a fine line.
Yeah.
Because I can see where that side is coming from. But I also see the side of like, call it whatever you want, but like love language, whatever, attachment style, that's what you need in a relationship. The root of that is what it's going to take for you to feel loved.
But don't you think that we're all like thinking too hard about these things sometimes and like people don't enjoy it enough? Like she said he's showing up for her in different ways. It's not like he's doing absolutely nothing and he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
So can you enjoy these other ways and just like stop listening to dating advice TikToks is what it sounds like. Okay.
Except us. Follow us.
Yeah.
I don't know, because
I just think we're getting lost in the sauce. As a culture.
I can see where you're coming from.
It's my opinion.
I actually feel like in this situation, maybe the love language thing that she thinks is the problem is not even actually the problem, because I feel like there's a lot of clues in the last sentence. He also hasn't said I love you yet, which is really weird. So after 6 months, this man hasn't said I love you, but they're dating. I don't really want to say it because I feel like he will say it back to appease me.
See,
what?
That's more telling to me than anything else.
I agree.
Okay.
His problem isn't that he doesn't want to appeal to your love language. It's probably that he just doesn't like you that much. Sorry. He hasn't said I love you in 6 months. Like, guys know what they want almost immediately. That's what I've heard from every guy that I know, and every podcast, every like story video I've heard, situation I've read. Like, when a guy likes you, you will know.
Right.
So if you're questioning, does this guy like me? Probably not. So maybe that's actually the problem. And if you're worried that you don't want to say it because he's only going to say it back to appease you, like, that's problematic in itself. So whether he loves you or not, him only saying it back to you to appease you, so he's settling for you at that point. Mm-hmm. And therefore you are settling for someone that's settling for you. So why are you with this guy?
That's and that would bother me personally.
Yeah.
That would bother anyone.
If anything, I would have more respect for him if you said I love you and he didn't say it back.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't genuinely love you, he shouldn't be saying it. But then if he says it to you back and you don't think he actually loves you, that means you don't believe the things he says to you.
That means you're building a relationship based on lies.
Yeah. Because if she said I love you and he said I love you too, she would go and be like, I feel like my boyfriend only says I love you because I say it to him and he wants to appease me. So why are you dating this man?
Yeah, good point. I think get out of it for that reason, not because of the other stuff you mentioned.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And I think that someone that actually loves you or even likes you will do those things.
Yeah.
And it won't be draining for them. And maybe, honestly, maybe it will be draining for them. But I think that someone that loves you would be more willing to go out of their way to do these things for you because they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, we're good. We're not like other girls.
So true. This is an interesting dilemma. Okay, this person is 19. So this is kind of judgy of me. But usually if I see stories where the people are younger, I kind of just ignore them because dating when you're a teenager,
it's so different.
I'm so sorry to say this. It's so irrelevant in the long run, in my opinion, in my life.
Yeah.
So I tend to not even think about it. But I know that's really judgmental if you're 19 and, you know.
Going through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that it also is about like life stages and like all these things. So anyway.
Yeah.
This story, this situation.
Okay.
If I can't imagine a future with someone, is that a legit reason to not date them? I'm a 19-year-old female. I can't imagine being with the guys that have been interested in me so far and that I've also been attracted to. Like, I'm attracted to them and all, but I can't picture myself getting married to them, living with them, or owning a house with them. One particular person I get along with very well, and to me and all of our friends, we seem like we have great chemistry and would mesh well together, but I just don't see that future with them. Is this a legitimate reason not to want to date someone, or is it the commitment issues coming out?
No, date. You're 19? In my opinion, this is when you shouldn't be dating for marriage.
Yeah.
And, like, think about it like, okay, it could happen. This could be my person, because it always could be. You can meet someone at 7 and marry them eventually. So, like, don't be, like, closed off to it if that's what you want eventually, but also like this is when you should just be dating for fun, like, yeah, and not worrying. I feel like the time to worry about marriage is like, I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't put even a number to it because it's so different for everyone, but like many years later.
Yeah. And it's almost like a feeling, like it's not an age, it's like, yeah, it's, I've heard people say who were dating in like long-term relationships, like, oh, I just woke up one morning and I was like, yeah, I want to get married now. And then they start planning that phase of life. So it's more just like a feeling when you are ready for it. And I also think that this can go both ways. Like if you're just imagining like what it's like if you get married to this person in the first 3 times you're meeting them, like that can be unhealthy too, because then it sends you down a spiral of this story that you're telling yourself and you're building your imaginary life with them and you don't even know their last name. Right. That's dangerous too. I've done that many times. Yeah. And then you start making all these decisions, considering if you're going to marry this person when you should not be doing that. Yeah. So it's actually probably almost better to avoid those thoughts at first. Right. But I think then like reassess that feeling. One, when you actually know the person and you haven't just gone on 3 dates with them, or your friends haven't just been like, yeah, you would probably work out, or you guys would probably have chemistry. Like that's maybe not when you should be thinking, can I picture a life with them? But maybe once you're dating for a few months, getting to know them on a deeper level, that's when you can start assessing, am I compatible with this person long term? Right. Do we want the same things? Right. Aw, to be 19. So crazy. Where was I when I was 19? Okay, so I was in college. Same. I was a freshman, right? Freshman going into sophomore, yeah. Well, you would have turned 19 midway through your freshman year, right? Yeah, like halfway. Yeah. The guy that I liked freshman year, just like why? Like, no, literally same. Like I liked him because of my idea that I made of him. Yep. Like there was no reason to like him. Yep. Absolutely not. I wish I didn't picture myself marrying him. No, I probably didn't think about marriage at that point. Yeah, but neither. She's actually in a better situation. Sorry. Go on. No, something totally irrelevant, but I was obsessed with Coachella at this time in my life. Love that for you. And it's like kind of Coachella season right now. So it always makes me think about like freshman, sophomore year of college because I was obsessed.
with the culture.
That was when it was like,
Speaking of culture.
yeah, that was like 2013 through 2015 when Coachella was like at its peak.
When Kylie had that blue hair.
That was iconic.
That one picture of, I think, her, Kendall, and Selena Gomez all like holding hands.
Oh my God.
Like peak Coachella. Vanessa Hudgens.
I was just going to bring up her.
Yeah.
Or bring her up.
Bring her. Yeah.
Why did that sound so weird when I said it? I was just going to bring up she. Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens was the queen of Coachella back in the day.
So wild. Like,
I wanted that style so badly.
So bad. Me too.
I wanted to be like the hot hippie.
Oh my God, same. I bought like some of those items at Forever 21 and would wear them to class like a freak.
That's amazing though.
Or just like around my college town.
That's
I don't know.
amazing.
Like people were always, other people were into it too. But there was this one pair of like lace. They're actually kind of, I feel like, back now, but lace flare pants with like the short underneath.
Do you still have them?
No, I wish.
They would be so in right
I
now.
know. And I think
later.
I wore them like once because they were like so scandalous. I was obsessed. Flower crowns, flash tats.
Oh my God, flash tats were everything.
Chain smokers. Like, let's go.
Yes. Flash tats were everything. I remember my sister and I got flash tats when we went on a cruise with our family in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I thought everyone already knew what they were. But everyone on the cruise would stop us and be like, what is that? And we'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're yatted.
You're setting a trend on the sea.
Yeah. Let's bring back that whole style.
Honestly, please.
Triangle bikinis. That's the first on the list.
It's happening.
Is it shallow to end it with someone who has no ambitions? I'm in this bad situation with a guy who likes to think I'm his without actually wanting to date. Well, that's the first. I could end it there.
Yeah.
Yes, dump him for that reason. There's more to it, but that's the gist. I want to end things with him, but he's really kind to me. My reasons are the following. He doesn't have a job, no plans to get one.
Come on.
Where does he plan to get money?
Maybe he's born with it.
All right, if he was born with it. If he's the heir to ExxonMobil, don't break up with him.
Wife him.
He never has to have a job. That's fine. If he is normal, like me, he needs to have a job.
Yes.
Immediately.
I have questions.
He doesn't want to go to school / into the military. Okay, those two things are fine. You don't have to go to school or into the military to have a job
Right.
and to have a great life.
Again, questions.
Questions. He makes promises to do things in the future, but never follows through.
What does he do? Like, what does he do every day?
Yeah, that's what I wonder too. What does he do? And where is he right now?
And where did you find it?
Yeah. Where is he? And where are you? Where is he? Literally.
Drop a pin.
When people say like, oh, they don't have a job and they don't want one, I don't understand that phrase.
Again, I understand it if you have money. Like, I will find things to do. Don't you worry.
But most people don't have money.
So yeah, what are you, like, playing video games?
But where? And who's paying for them?
With what money to buy said video games? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. An Xbox ain't free.
Sure ain't.
No money, and any he gets is spent on weed. No money, and any he gets, like, where is he getting it?
Right.
He has to be living with his parents, right?
Yeah, I would think.
No license. I always have to drive him. No.
Kind of sounds like he has a clinical problem, perhaps.
Maybe.
Might be a little deeper than we think.
That's possible. I am in college. I work 2 jobs, and I hate if I sound pretentious for this, but I just want someone that has the same goals as me. That's literally not pretentious. That's like very rational and reasonable.
Yeah, that's a very normal goal.
Yeah.
Bar is low here.
Yes. I want to travel, plan nice dates, and be proud to introduce them to my friends and family. That is not currently the case. Is it shallow to end it with him because of this?
Yes.
No. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's not shallow.
Yeah.
And yes, end it.
Yeah. Because also, like, you're in college. Just go outside and be like, hey, want to date?
That is so true.
I mean,
I think that any of these reasons would be more than a good enough reason to end it, even if just one of them was the problem.
yeah.
All on top of each other. What's the reason to date him?
Right.
What is
Right.
one reason to date him? He's nice to me. Is he? You just said he wants to act like he owns you without actually dating you.
Oof, girl. Get out while you
Sometimes I think that people forget, and I'm in this category too, or I used to be. We forget that there's more than one person on the earth.
Yeah.
And we put people on pedestals for absolutely no reason.
You're not seeing the forest for the trees.
Whoa. Wait.
Someone said that to me this week, and I needed to hear it too. So
You're not seeing the forest through the trees.
for the trees.
Oh, wait, explain.
Like,
look it up.
No,
Wait, let me guess. You're not seeing the forest for the trees? Oh, so like you're not recognizing that it's a forest. I don't know what it means.
For is the part.
For the trees.
You're too involved in the details to look at the situation as a whole.
You're too involved in the details to look at the situation as a whole. Yes. Yeah.
The congressman became so involved in the wording of his bill that he couldn't see the forest for the trees, so he didn't realize the bill could never pass. It's an example.
Wow, I actually don't like this phrase because I don't think it...
Like, you're not understanding a larger problem because you're only considering a few parts of it.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't know if...
This is giving that episode where we talked about Job and we kept having to look up things.
Wait, the book of, like, the Bible?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Like, you're not seeing the I don't know, it just makes sense in my head.
I like what you just said better. The one that you just said, you're not seeing the bigger picture. Or
yeah.
What did you just say?
You're just too in the details. Like,
yeah, to see the bigger picture.
Like for this girl, like you're not understanding that there's more fish in the sea. Like, not to keep bringing up idioms, but it's like there's so many men out there. Like, you're only focused on this one tiny man.
Yeah. I also think that sometimes when people are in these situations, like relationship situations, and you're choosing between this person and like breaking up with them, in your mind, you're like, it's this person or no one. Or like if you're choosing between these two guys, neither of them are like completely perfect. And you're like, but him who has XYZ problems and him who has ABC problems, like which one do I pick? Like you're acting as if it's him or no one. Like how about neither of them and the person that's actually meant for you? But we forget it when we're in it.
This is why so many people settle.
Yes.
Because they think it's no one. And it's like, what are you talking about? There is, just in the town you live in, thousands probably.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, maybe that's a little crazy.
In a lot of towns, there are.
At least 10.
Maybe. Yeah.
It just went from 1,000 to 10.
1,000 to 10. Yeah.
But like, you know, to validate people, because I'm one of these people, I think compatibility is like really hard to come by.
It is.
You're trying to check a lot of boxes.
It is.
So I get it. But like also, let's just use logic here.
Yeah.
And there are options. You just have to try hard.
Yeah.
To find them.
And I'll simplify it. Like she's already almost doing this thing, but this is kind of how I started looking at dating in the past like few years. Make a list of every single thing you want in a partner that is a non-negotiable for you. And I'm not talking like 6'5", really hot, like thick hair. No, I'm talking like they are driven, like we have similar goals, our religious beliefs align, how we want to raise children aligns, or if we even want children or not aligns. Make this list.
Yeah.
Don't be superficial, but don't leave anything out that's actually important to you. And as you date people, don't date people that doesn't align with that list. You can have a second mini list that's things that would be nice, but I'd be willing to compromise on if they meet all of these other things on list A. Sure, have that little thing that's like, it would be great if he made this much money. It would be great if he had the same color eyes as me. Like, whatever the fuck. But only reference that like after you meet list A. That's extremely important. And don't date anyone that's not list A. And you'll save yourself some time.
Wow.
That's how I think. But also make sure that list A is actually things that are important. Not these bullshit petty things that are like, you're never going to find someone that never smells bad, okay?
Yeah.
He's going to smell bad sometimes. That cannot be on list A. List A is about who you are inside and what you want in life.
Right. Aw, that was really sweet. We should all do this.
We should.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
It's really long too.
As it should be. That was really good advice. I hope you all listened.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up. Oh my God, O.J. Simpson just died.
What?
Holy shit. O.J. Simpson
news?
has died at the age of 76, according to the statement from his family. He had cancer.
Wait, wow.
This gives me very mixed feelings.
Huh.
One of the top comments, the cancer was not found guilty in the murder. Wow. Crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
Okay, back at it. Would you date someone who you don't find physically attractive, but whose personality is amazing? Why or why not?
Well, my first answer is yes, because attraction can grow.
Yeah.
But if you're coming from a place where you've tried to let it grow and it hasn't grown, then no.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair.
You know, like I think give it some time, but then if time passes and you're still like no, then the answer is no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I also kind of think that this, a lot of the times, is the thing that separates platonic from romantic relationships. Because I think about that a lot. Like, what literally is the reason that I want to date my boyfriend, but I don't want to date my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it just attraction? I don't think so, actually, because I think that there's something deeper.
Yeah, I don't think so all the time, but maybe sometimes.
Because now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, that is not just like physical attraction.
Right.
I don't know.
It's like a soul connection.
No, yeah, it's something like inside that I do not know how to put into words that makes you want to like date someone, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It cannot be explained with words.
Yeah. I shouldn't even say date, just like be romantic with someone.
Yeah.
Because physical attraction at the same time is important.
I agree.
And if you don't have it at all, I guess I shouldn't just say in general, because like there's some people that maybe don't care to be physical, like if that's just how your brain works. But I think that most humans have like the psychology that they want physical like touch and attraction in a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that it's deeper than just like, oh, I think that guy's hot, or like he's not hot enough for me. Like it is a very like human thing.
Chemistry though is like so tricky. Like it can't always be like pinpointed as to why like chemistry is so big with like two people.
Yeah.
So it's not always about just like physical attraction. Like sometimes it's like sense of humor, just like a million different things. Like it can't always be explained.
Right. It's hard to, it's hard to pinpoint it and put it into words.
And sometimes it's there right away. But I also think when it's there right away, it doesn't always mean it's like a good thing.
So true.
So
true. You can have chemistry with many, many people, and you will, and they will not be meant for you.
Yeah. So it can go either way.
Yeah.
So I think give it time to grow. And then if it hasn't, cut them loose, baby.
Yeah.
Get back on these streets.
I love the side that's like, try to let it grow, or not even try to form it. Just give it a chance, because attraction really, really does grow.
And it like sneaks up on you sometimes. Yeah.
Totally. What if your boyfriend had a podcast and he was answering this question and he was like, yeah, I thought my girlfriend was so ugly when I first met her, and look at her now.
Yikes.
Wouldn't that be so funny?
I would dump him so fast.
What if they were like,
blocked?
It can grow. It grew for me. Like, I mean, the thing is though, it grows for everyone. I even think that like if you saw your partner for the first time and they were actually the hottest person you've ever seen, wouldn't it still grow once you got to know them?
Yeah, because like
it always grows.
For me, it's like when someone starts like being themselves, like you can tell when someone's kind of holding back and they're not like, you know, being their full self. So when that starts to come out, you're like, oh wow, like that's where attraction comes from too.
That's so true.
At least for me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it does. Yeah. And that's why I feel like you need to know someone's actual personality. Like you can't just decide that you like someone when you don't even know them, you know? You might like the idea of them or what they look like.
Right.
But yeah, you cannot actually like them. Would you date someone who has a different level of education than you?
Yes.
I mean, definitely higher.
Yes. But I also think for me, someone who's like curious about the world. And I hate to make it about like being smart versus not being smart, because there's a million ways one can learn intelligence.
Such a good point.
But that's also like that's something I would put on list A.
Yeah, intelligence.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean higher education.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Like, cause what's his name? Like so many of the most successful people dropped out of college, never even went to college, and they're really smart. Like, so it doesn't schooling doesn't equate to intelligence, but also like, you know.
Well, also look at all the people that graduated college that
are dumb.
There was so many. I'm so sorry. I was in my capstone class for is that what everyone calls it? Capstone?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like the last course you take in this major before you graduate. It's a group project. Like the stereotypical person that's ridiculous in group projects was in my group. I actually was like, not only am I wondering how you and I got into the same college, but how did we make it to year 4? How are you in this class? And I'm not even saying I'm like the smartest person. I'm normal. Like I'm just normal. And I just really feel like that's it. Oh, thank you. But I'm not going to be an engineer, you know, but I was literally like, how are we in the same class?
I thought that even freshman year when I forget what this like was for. Or yeah, I think it was a group project and we were writing a group paper. Might have been sophomore year, whatever, it doesn't matter. And the way some of the people's in my groups is you know what? I'm going to restart that sentence.
Wait, the irony that's happening here is so perfect. I'm sorry, that was
and I'm going back to school.
Funny.
Sign me up.
That was so fucking funny. I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, keep that in. I need to be humbled.
No, me too.
Anyway. And I would be reading like one of the guys' paragraphs that he inputted in the Google Doc. And I'm like, how are we in college? Like, how did you graduate high school and you can't write a sentence? Like, where's the comma? Me looking for the comma. It would just make me feel like such an asshole, because it's like, I actually did. Like, I graduated from a high school that has a really good English program. So I feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to not sound so uppity.
Yeah.
But it's also like, eek! Like, some people make it to the same level that you make it, even in a job, to be honest. And just, you're like, how? Like,
yeah. And honestly, I feel bad saying this because I feel like it's coming off as if I'm like, how can you be so stupid?
Right, me too.
If someone genuinely never had the opportunity to like gain this certain education, like education on grammar, like that's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's like not the reason why I am saying this. Like the person that I'm thinking of that was in my group project that I'm like, how are we even, like, the thing is, because he was so pretentious, he was so full of himself. He came to school every day or class every day telling me about his business plans, about how he's going to buy, he and his friends after college, they're not getting jobs. They're going to go and buy a bunch of real estate all around our college, and then they're going to become landlords to students, and it's so easy and it's so cheap and it's foolproof, and we're going to make so much money, and like telling me all these things. And I'm like, you don't even know how to do the exercise that we're doing in class right now, and you're telling me about your plans for investment real estate, like,
right.
And where are you getting the money to invest this real estate? Like, so it's not that he was just stupid and like was really trying to learn. It's like that you are full of yourself and you're an asshole. You think that you know what you're talking about. You act like you know what you're talking about. You tell other people how to act, and you don't know what you're talking about. Like,
right.
And I felt the same way about like freshman year English classes in college. Like, I kind of felt the same way of like, oh my God, how I also had really great English education in my high school. So I feel like this is so privileged in like speaking this way, but I think I really did know how to write a paper because my teachers were amazing.
Same. Yeah, same.
And yeah, we would like peer review, and people would like mark things wrong on my paper that I knew was right. And here's an example. When you're using a quote, the punctuation, so a period, comma, exclamation point, question mark, that goes inside of the quotation marks.
Yeah, it's like those little things.
Yeah, like every single time I would quote something in my paper, this person did like that arrow to like make me change it. I was like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's just simply wrong. I'm like, why did you like spend all your time doing this? Like, give me actual critiques on like the writing, because that is what could improve. Don't like waste your time on the grammar. Like, and then when you hand your paper back to me, be like, yeah, there's just a few things you should change. Like, I get that it could be like a mistake, but I just remember one of the people in my class, like, he was just like this too cool for school, like hot guy who like did not give a shit. And like, you could tell that he didn't even try to write the paper. Like, I actually spent time doing the homework and like trying to like be smarter so that I can learn something. And you could tell that this guy just like wanted to go play basketball with his friends and like did not give a shit about English 1001 freshman year.
Right.
And like, if you don't want to give a shit, that's fine. That's on you. But like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm like, oh, I should have went to like a school with people that cared. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. People did care, but there's these some people that I'm just like, why are you here?
And they bring you down.
Yeah.
And they bring your grade down if it's a group thing. Oh my God.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, that guy in my group project. Oh, my teacher knew about him. Don't you worry. Right. And when we got the shout out on LinkedIn because my group won the ad competition. It wasn't really a competition, but you know, it was unstated.
Yeah.
My teacher did post about my group. His name was not included in the post. His name was not included in anything because he was so terrible and everyone hated him because he didn't give a shit and he was whatever.
Right.
He was the guy. Ugh. When you're thinking about like the shitty guy in the group project, that was him.
I had so many group projects in college, like the bane of my existence, all of them.
I actually don't even think all of my, like, I feel like I got lucky a lot of the time. Also, he like acted like he was so hot and like so cool, like the most like average, like annoying guy that I'm like, who are you?
This reminds me of the canceled podcast clip where it's like someone who's never been punched in the face before in their whole life. Yeah,
he needs to be humbled and learn about down payments and interest rates. Sorry. You are not going and buying 10 houses surrounding Temple University in June. It's May right now.
Right.
You are not doing that unless your parents give you $700,000.
It always goes back to the parents and the trust fund. Let's be so for real.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's like, so funny. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And where do you work now that you're gaining the money.
Right.
Gaining the experience.
Mm.
What if your plumbing breaks? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What if your college tenants trash the apartment and then you can't rent it out next year because it's completely trash and it's not valuable anymore? You going to go in there and fix it?
No, he's going to hire someone to do it for him.
And what money are you going to use? All the money that you got,
From his
aka
parents.
didn't even break even on the first year?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, pop
Sorry. Oh my god. The one time he came into class, I was wearing a long sleeve t-shirt from Billabong. It was gray long sleeve t-shirt with leggings. And he was like, that shirt's so cool. Like, what kind of shirt is that? I literally was like, long sleeve, gray.
And Kelly's totally over it, by the way. No resentment found.
Like, yeah, but like, where's it from? I'm like, anyway, the client, the campaign, the ad campaign that we're making.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are making it. You're not making it.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, so frustrating when
Sorry,
you just pull all the weight for those people.
I forgot about him.
All college. Well, it's like, hey, I'm getting my money's worth. What are you doing?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Who's winning?
Yeah.
Who's winning here?
That's a really good point, actually. Okay. Sorry. Ranting about people. So, different education than you.
Yeah, I think we solved, I think we answered it though. Like,
yeah.
It depends. School does not equate to intelligence. So
clearly. Sorry.
That was our point here.
Yes, because there are going to be people in your class that just are not, whatever. Also, just to clarify, I'm going to humble myself. There were people that were years and years above me in my classes as well. Yeah. So I'm not trying to say I was the smartest. There was probably people looking at me saying, how are we in the same class? Just to clarify.
College is like a wild time when you think about it. Senior year, I took this class that was all about play. Like literally Children? Like, yeah.
Oh.
And like as an adult, how you can incorporate play into your life. We had one class where we all brought a board game that we loved.
Wow.
And we did a circuit around the classroom. Like,
what is the benefits of playing as an adult?
So many psychological benefits.
As I say grammar wrong, what are the benefits?
There are so many psychological benefits. Like,
wow.
It's scientifically proven that it's all about like inner child, you know, like when you go back to your childhood and you kind of heal these things. Like we had so many classes outside.
Aww.
It was a lovely time. I was a happy person that semester.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So
that's so fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I love that. I'm gonna start playing.
Okay, me too. Hopscotch.
Would you date someone who can't drive? Wait, I need to know if they're a child or not. Okay.
They're like 15 writing this.
I was in a relationship, but my girlfriend ended it because I was unable to drive. The reason for me not being able to drive is due to epilepsy. Oh, that's way different. She was getting increasingly frustrated about this situation and said if I didn't learn by X date, the relationship was over. Of course, I couldn't meet that demand due to my condition. So the relationship ended. Although I live an independent lifestyle, getting around by bus, train, and walking, this didn't satisfy her. I think it might have to do with the fact that she lived in a much more car-centric area than I did. So do you have any advice on how to go about dating in my situation?
Oh, that's sad.
Wow, that's a different issue, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because if they were just choosing to not learn to drive in a car-centric area and just relying on other people, I would say it's not the driving that's the issue. It's the fact that they don't have ambition.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't even about learning to drive. This is just about
your life.
Condition that is going to affect your life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of your control. So
yeah.
I'm confused.
This isn't a choice for the guy.
Right. I would say, yeah, find someone maybe in your walkable area.
Yeah.
Or someone who's just like compassionate.
Oh my God, I'm so mad at her.
I know.
Like, what an idiot.
Wait, can I like talk about myself though for a sec?
Of course.
Because that was low-key, like the one you mentioned before, the example was low-key me in high school. I waited so long to get my license. And I was such a mooch off of everyone else. And like, I just had no desire to get my license. Like, it wasn't something I cared about.
I think it's different in high school.
I know, but it was funny because like all my friends were so hype on it. And I was like,
Yeah. I mean, in high school, I don't really think it would be weird because like everyone is like itching to drive in high school.
Yeah.
But I think after that, if you're just relying on other people all the time.
I will say I walk to and from school, so that's like an important thing to note because you know a lot of people want like the freedom of driving after school and like not waiting for the bus when they're 18 years old. Like totally get it.
Yeah,
I just didn't have that problem.
True. Yeah. I also think, though, that if someone just didn't care to drive because they were like, I am fine with not driving. Like, I live in a city. Public transportation is fine. They don't rely on other people. They don't expect people to drive them. If someone else could drive them, that would be great. But they're not going to base their life waiting for that. I feel like that's a different issue too.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel like it's about ambition, and are they just mooching off of other people?
Right.
And expecting favors from other people. That's the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It would be a little bit annoying for me though, because not this situation though, not if they had a medical reason why,
Right.
but if someone just didn't feel like driving, I don't know. I live a very driving centric life, I feel like.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I would want someone that if they were medically able to, they chose to drive.
Right.
So I can see like where that would be annoying for people, but if it's a medical issue, it's a completely different thing. Should we do one more?
Okay.
This is kind of a funny one, so we'll end on this lighthearted one.
Okay.
Sorry, I just touched you with my foot.
Boop.
Is it weird to date someone with the same last name? We are definitely not related, and we have an extremely common last name. I really, really like him, and he's perfect, but is it too weird?
No, I don't really think that's weird at all.
That's actually perfect, because then you never have to change your name.
That's my thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Great. I want that.
I know, that would be great.
Because, like, if it's, like, Smith,
yeah. Yeah. In high school, 2 of my friends had the same last name, and they dated.
Yeah, I think this is a non-issue.
Non-issue for sure. What if someone shared your first name?
Well, that's like Taylor Lautner and Taylor...
Tay Lautner now.
Tay
Because now
Lautner.
they're both Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, I think that's more of an issue, but also not a deal breaker.
It's kind of just funny.
Yeah, agreed.
It would be a little bit annoying, though. I mean, maybe it wouldn't.
Maybe someone can choose to go by a middle name as well.
Yeah, or a nickname.
Yeah.
That would be kind of annoying, actually. Do you have any close friends that are named Rebecca?
No. I'm trying to even go back in time. Still no.
Yeah.
I had like a friend in high school, but she went by Becky and we weren't even that close. So no, it was never a thing.
I don't think I was ever like, I had friends named Kelly, but I don't think I was ever extremely close with any other Kellys. Like we weren't ever like best friends forever.
Right.
I kind of liked that. Although I have heard that psychologically, if you meet someone with the same name as you like feel closer to them.
Yeah.
So maybe it would actually help your relationship that you have the same name.
I feel that way with star signs.
Whoa.
I love my fellow Capricorns.
I was listening back to an episode where I just like don't understand like all the astrological signs.
Yeah.
And there was this one episode where I was quoting Taylor and Nikki, like this moment between them. And I was like, oh yeah, Nikki came out and Taylor said, that's my favorite Capricorn right there. And then in the podcast recording, you were like Sagittarius. Or right. Isn't that what she said?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just kind of like kept going because I didn't really like know what you meant. And then I was editing it back and I was like, oh, I said it wrong. And she was like telling me the correct thing.
I probably just
and I was just like,
it.
I was just like ignoring her.
No, it's okay.
What was I doing?
That's my favorite Sagittarius right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that though, because after that award show, I remember everyone was like, oh my God, this is an Easter egg. There's a song called Sagittarius featuring Nicki Minaj on Reputation TV. Like people
that
are
would
crazy.
Be insane.
But also, please.
That would be amazing.
That's the dream.
Only if it's good.
Oh, Taylor and Nicki?
Karma did not need the...
Well, yeah.
Sorry, hate to say it. Did not
Karma
need the remix.
Was bad, yeah. And on that though, I just totally like...
And on that though. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Tell us the pettiest reason why you've ever broken up with someone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.